What is going on, everyone? We are here with another spotlight interview series. Usually I don't do too many in a day. I try to balance it all out and everything like that. But I'm on my fifth interview for one day. As you can tell, I can't even speak anymore. But besides that, I'm just having a fun day today, like just learning about so many stories through music because that's what this whole interview series is about. And I just love meeting people. It doesn't matter if it's in the US or if it's up in Canada, Ireland, Australia, the UK. We've been everywhere and we're just having fun with it. And sometimes we have more than one person on the interview too. So today I have Kelly and Kat. Kelly and Kat, how are you guys?
Hello, we're
Hi,
good.
we're great. We're so happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
No, of course. I just appreciate any artist that comes on, like whether it's a solo artist or band or duet, like just to take time out of your day and have this interview and go through your story through music. It just means a lot to me. And obviously, it's just super cool to hear everyone's story through music. So I'm excited to have you guys on. I just appreciate you taking time to do this.
Of course, we love talking about, the music, our story, our songs. It's always a lot of fun to really take a deep look into it.
No, exactly. And it's always just cool to hear everyone's story because it's so different.
Exactly.
Kind of before we get into the whole interview process and kind of go through the questions, why don't you just let the people know a little bit about just who you guys are in general, like what you guys are kind of doing right now, and just not even music wise, can be whatever, and just what are you guys doing?
We are Kelly and Kat.
Yeah.
We are sisters. We're from New York and we have been performing our whole lives. It really is like a huge part of who we are as people. We've had some amazing experiences in music. We've spent probably our whole life growing up on the stage, from theater to now being singer-songwriters. And yeah, we're definitely really excited to be partaking this journey together as sisters. It's really special that we get to share it together.
We're very close. I think even outside of music, we're extremely close, like as sisters, and to be able to, go through this whole journey together, create music together. It's just so amazing. It's so special. And I'm very thankful. And I think Kat is as
Me
well.
too.
No, that's awesome. I mean, I sometimes I think about it because I'm an only child. So like I always think about sometimes whether or not it's good to have a brother, whether or not it's good to have a sister, like because I never had that experience. But obviously, like there must be good days and bad days between you two. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Depends on the day for sure. Some days we're ready to kill each other. Other days,
Yeah, especially when it comes to clothes. Like we don't
yeah.
fight with music. It's usually the clothes.
Clothes,
okay.
like accessories,
Yeah.
that
Who's
like,
using my hair straightener today?
like stupid stuff. But we try to keep it out of music. At least, we're trying to focus like what's best for the song.
Yeah, keep it professional.
No, exactly. No, and that's the best way to do it, honestly. As long as you guys know, like at the end of the day, when it comes to music, even if you guys are having a bad day besides that, like to come together and do the music, that's what really creates that bond and just makes you guys stronger.
Yes.
It really does.
Yeah. So kind of getting into the first question, everyone knows I always start with the basic of basics. And obviously feel free to answer it however you guys kind of want to, if you each want to go into it. Like where did music start for you guys? Like obviously, was it at an early age? When did the whole singing, songwriting, like playing guitar and instruments and stuff, just how did everything come about for you?
You want to take this
Yeah,
one?
sure.
Start?
So music started for us. I think I was 5. I started doing musical theater and Kat was 4. So our parents signed us up and we started, doing a lot of plays together. I know at least when I started, Kat's always been like very
Outgoing.
yes.
Always ready for the spotlight. Kelly was very shy.
I was so shy. That was part of the reason why my parents signed me up, because I would not raise my hand in class. Like I was that shy. So they threw me into theater. I fell in love with it. So did Kat. We started taking vocal lessons. I think again, I was 7 when I started. Kat definitely was like 5. So she was a lot younger. And that's like, I guess, kind of where both of our loves for, the stage really started, for music and everything. And then when we got into high school, that's kind of when we kind of took the next step into everything, if you want to go
That
into
was
that.
around the time I started learning guitar. I'd always been writing music and we always loved singing. And we saw one time there was a contest open on, Kelly found it on Facebook for Disney and Cole's Sing Let It Go from the hit Disney movie. And we were like, all right, cool. We had a version of that song already that we worked out with our voice teacher. We were like, we could just put this together. We
Like,
found
how
it.
fun would it be? Didn't think anything of it.
We found it like the night it was due. So we like rushed through, made sure we sounded like, okay, this is good. We sent it in, didn't hear, didn't think about it. 2 weeks later, Kelly comes running up the stairs. Oh my God, we're one of the top 10 finalists. So it was like this crazy experience. They fly us out to LA. We're with these amazing 9 other contestants. And, all this other stuff happened months later. There was voting, commercials. We ended up winning. Wow. And it was insane. And that was really when we looked at each other and said, we want to do this, but we really have something special together. And this is how we're going to pursue it. And ever since then, we've had a lot of other incredible experiences. But I guess, it's just always been a part of us. We've always loved performing and we really can't live without it.
No, and that's awesome, honestly. Like, that's just such a cool story. And it's always so cool to just hear people's stories because it's so different, like how people start at an early age, and some people started like 2 days ago. And like, I know for me, like I only started back in 2018. Like, I mean, I can't sing. If I start singing, my windows will start breaking and all that stuff. But I mean, just like songwriting and producing and stuff like that, I only started 4 years ago. So like, it's just crazy to see how fast you can develop and how fast you can grow just throughout those years and stuff like that. So it's always cool to hear stories like that.
Exactly. I mean, my first songs that I wrote, I was like probably 3 or 4 and they were so bad. But, it definitely is, even in like 4 years, seeing the progress of just, it's amazing to look, but even for you to like look back at your old stuff, it really is. You can really see
the growth, how much like, I mean, I didn't even know. We were talking, even about our older music too. We have been working on some new stuff, and comparing the songs that we already have out to the ones that we're releasing it's so crazy to see how much we've grown.
Exactly. And like, I always live by this one quote, just because I'm a big sports fan too. A lot of people know that about me, and I'm a big hockey person. So Wayne Gretzky always said is, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. And like, I live by that. And I'm assuming like it goes for anyone, just no matter what you're doing. Like, if I look back on this like 10 years from now and I never did this, I'd probably regret it. And it's crazy because I only started this during the pandemic, and I never thought any of this would actually like take off and do what I've done. And now over 50 episodes later, like it's crazy it's crazy to see. So like, it's really, really cool and special.
Definitely.
So kind of getting into the second question is, everyone has inspirations that they look up to, and it might like, I mean, obviously if you're a solo artist, you have stuff, but like, do you guys look up to like other duets, or like, do you guys look up to solo artists? Just who like has really inspired you guys, like when it comes to making music and singing?
I would say my earliest inspirations were Avril Lavigne and Britney Spears and Demi Lovato. And all 3 of them stood out to me. Big vocals, catchy songs. And I really, as I've gotten older, I think other inspirations for me have been solo artists, but also like Kehlani does a lot of harmonized layering, and we love harmonies. And so hearing that inspires me. As a vocalist, I love Jessie J, Demi Lovato again. But we definitely also, like in one of our songs, it's very inspired by Fleetwood Mac. We also want our music to be like timeless. We want people to be able to listen to it in any time period and, recognize or enjoy it. So I think that's super important for us in our songwriting as well.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. And then kind of leading into the next question is, it's always so cool to hear is the creative process when it comes to actually writing and like forming a song, because it's different for so many artists, whether people start with a melody and then add lyrics to it, or if people start with the lyrics like I do. I'm definitely a lyric person, and that's how I start. Like I'll kind of start setting up the verses, but sometimes I feel like a lot of my stuff, like I start with the chorus, and the chorus really just builds around everything else. And I always have to quote Garrett Walker. He was on the show, country singer songwriter, super super talented. He said it's like a puzzle, whether you have 500 or 1,000 pieces, you have them all laid out, all mix and match, you don't know where anything's going, and then slowly and slowly you start putting this puzzle together, and by the end you have this masterpiece, you have this full song, and it's just always cool. So what is your creative process like when it comes to writing a song and getting it all produced up and just all of that stuff? How does that come about for you guys?
I think for Kelly, chime in obviously
Yeah.
on this because it really is, it's different for us because it is a collaborative thing
Process,
between
yeah.
the two of us. Usually I'll come to Kelly with either some chords on a guitar, or I'll hear something and it'll, make me pick up my guitar and write something quick, and then I'll run in here and tell her about it. And we will develop the lyrics together and the harmonies. That's a big part of it.
Mhm.
I think the 3-4 chords that I use in the verse and the chorus usually comes from me and is fairly easy. And
Mhm.
we work with some amazing people and they produce and all that stuff. We're just the singer songwriter vocalists. I wish I knew how to produce, but it's very complicated. But I think it's different for each song.
Yeah, I think so. I know, like I'm trying to think. Like I know like We Were and stuff like that. Like there are some songs like Kat mostly wrote We Were. That mostly did come from her. And then, she came to me and I was like tweaking and stuff because it was in such a great place that I was like, this doesn't need to be touched anymore. It's so raw. I mean, that's one of her only songs that's just kind of very stripped down as of right now. And I think that like everyone is kind of like a little bit of a different journey and a different process. And I think even now we were just in the studio actually this week working on a demo, which we're super excited about. And, kind of when we walk into each song, we're like, okay, what have we done for the other ones? And how can we kind of raise the bar for this one? So, it's just kind of about, I guess, what the song needs and stuff. And like Kat said, like a lot of times she comes to me with stuff and then it's just tweaking.
Yeah, I guess also it is what the song needs. Like I'll be sitting there and I'll feel something, or I'll hear something in my head, and it will feel like it's calling out to me, like you need to write this down, or I'm going through something, or she's going through something, and she'll come to me. And I feel like if you try to force it, it can be really frustrating. And a lot of times that puzzle can feel so overwhelming. That's such a true quote, because I sit with my notebook sometimes and I look at all the scribbles we've made, and it literally, there's arrows, and it's like almost, I will sit there for days and be like, this is a mess. And one day it clicks.
It's crazy because there's been times that like in our past songs where, basically everything's done. It needs like a few lines to be tweaked. And it's like, wait a second, there was a song, like, a draft of a song that's gone, we haven't released, we haven't recorded, it's just sitting in a notebook. And oh my gosh, the lyrics from this would be so amazing in this song. So it really is a puzzle, because it's really about like, it's so funny because that's kind of how I imagine it when we're going through it. It's like, okay, what's going to fit here? Like, it really is like a whole, I love that quote. That's
No,
awesome.
exactly. No, and like I forget, I think he heard it from a friend, I believe, or like he looked it up online or something like that. So it's just always a super, super cool quote. And I was like, I have to like buy this off of you because like I need to quote it on every episode now. Like it's just like it's like a trademark to my show now, is just to quote Garrett Walker out for that every single time.
That's
And
great.
I think you guys started talking about We Were a little bit, and I was talking to you about that just before the interview started, and how I really connected with that song, and it's definitely one of my favorites. And it's just cool because I think the way that song came about, the way you guys were kind of explaining it, is like the same as my song Back to When. And because that's through a really hard place for me, and that's how I wrote that song within like 2 hours. And you guys said like when you wrote that, like it was pretty much all perfect and you didn't really need to touch it. And when I sent that over to my friend Nathan Vasquez, like we barely touched anything. He had the chords already, like that he had saved, just waiting for this right song to come around. and we
That's
put it together, and all that just came about. So like I think it's really cool because that's a lot of what I connect with through your music and just through any artist's music.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, that one, I remember I sat down with a piece of paper and I wrote down everything that I was afraid to admit, and I put it in a song, and the chorus kind of just wrote itself. And those songs are always the most special because even, you know, there's so many people like you that have said like, wow, this song really means a lot, and that means everything to us.
It really does.
Exactly. No, and it's so cool. And it's hard because there's so many artists out there nowadays trying to make it, and there's so many artists writing about kind of the same stuff, and just with TikTok especially over the last year or two, and then even Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that, there's so many different artists out there, and that leads me into the fourth question. It's always the hardest question, the most difficult one that I ask. And I always tell people there's no wrong or right answers to this question, and there's no judgment because at the end of the day, like I think I was just talking earlier with Bryce Rogers, he was on the interview series, and we were kind of talking about it doesn't matter even if it's in music, it can be anything in life, like whether it's at a job or whether it's like a sport or a different hobby and stuff. But there's so many up and coming artists out there. So at the end of the day, what would you say makes Kelly and Kat Kelly and Kat?
I think there is so many people doing this, and so it's just there's so much content. It's almost impossible to get above it, you know, unless you're lucky and you go viral, which is, you know, ridiculously impossible to do. I think a lot of artists struggle with that too. Of like, you know, what separates me from everyone else, and I think that there are so many people doing it. I think you really can see who really like is it's part of them. As dramatic as that sounds, I think you can tell the people that are authentic. And I think that, you know, some people have, you know, different perspectives. You never know who you're going to click with. And I think that we have had a lot of unique experiences, especially between the two of us, that we're able to kind of ride that thin line between like how to really connect with people in our writing. I know people also say that like our voices blend, very unique, maybe because we're sisters. But I think that's two things, at least in the music, that could draw us from a crowd.
I know, like we've gotten this before, which is actually interesting. Like a couple producers and everything else, which they brought it to our attention. There's something I didn't realize is that I think with us there is like a duality kind of going on, because Kat and I, for as similar as we are, we get mistaken for twins all the time. Parents confuse us, but we are so different. I think in our personalities, in our styles, in even our voices. Kat's is a lot brighter and lighter than mine. Mine's a lot deeper. I've been told it's more raspy. Our writing styles are a little bit different. So like Kat said, like there are two different perspectives going on, I think. And like, you know, we've had some people that are like, oh, well, I'm more, you know, girly in this and I relate to Kelly more, but I'm more, you know, like boho chic and like earthy and I relate to Kat and stuff. So I think that's also something interesting too. And I like that, you know, that we're able to touch upon, I feel like, different personalities and different people. And, you know, we've connected with a bunch of people, especially during the pandemic and stuff where everything went virtual. And we had all the time to really dive into TikTok and Instagram and streaming and stuff, that, you know, we were able to really connect with those people and see, like, you know, they related to us both in different ways, which I thought was extremely interesting because, like Kat said, you're getting, you know, we are sisters, we are extremely close, but we
are
both,
very different.
We're very different. We both have our own separate lives and experiences. And I think especially when we come to writing a song, we usually try to come at it, like, even if it is just, you know, if I was like, oh, we're writing this about my breakup or whatever, Kat then can come to the song with this whole other perspective about the same thing, but taking a different angle on it. So,
or throwing in a verse in the second, a lyric in the second verse that is something that's kind of not about that. So maybe if you're listening to the song, because even for me, I find that I listen to music and I'm like, I don't relate with the song, but I like it. And then you find that one thing that is a detail specific to you. And then that song means everything to you.
Exactly. No, and that's awesome. And like that, it's just really so cool and unique. I mean, because like I talk to a lot of solo artists, but it's just so cool to really just hear this whole different perspective, like when it comes to bands and duets and stuff like that. Like it just really cool to just see how like you two both know that like you're different, but you can come together and create like this different stuff, whether one of you is going through a breakup and the other one just comes in and starts going through all this stuff. So like that's really, really cool and unique. And honestly, I think I've done a lot of interviews, and that might be one of my better answers that I've had, just because of the chemistry and like the two of you like coming together and kind of working on all that.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a hard question because you have to really like sit and figure it out. I mean, and it's
So like self-reflection,
Exactly.
I feel like, as like the group or whatever
Yeah.
of like
but
what's
great
going
question.
on. I really
Yeah.
like that question.
No, of course. And like I always tell people, like at the end of the day, I still don't know who I am. I know I write songs, I know I produce songs, and I know I host an interview series, but that's all I know. Like I don't know exactly who I am, where I'm going, and stuff like that. And obviously, speaking of don't know where I'm going, is that kind of leads into the future. And the next question is, and the final question is, what are your goals as artists? Like, where do you guys want to go with your music? What else can we expect down the road? I know you guys are working on some new music. And just what else can we expect from you guys?
I think like the ultimate goal of goals we would love to be able to do tours like, globally. We have so many fans, like I said, that we've been able to connect with virtually from all over the world. And they're the sweetest, most supportive people on this planet. And to be able to perform with them, see them, hang out with them would be amazing. We would just love to be doing this like as our full-time career, just like living in the studio, making music and stuff. Do you want to take over?
I definitely agree. I mean, it's people, you want to reach for the stars, but the goal is just to do what we love for the rest of our life. And there are definitely, some venues we'd like to sing at and stuff like that. But
Madison Square Garden would be very cool.
Very cool. But especially since we're from New York, it'd be like a big check on the list. But at the same time, we really can't live without music. And so we're just going to do everything we can to make sure we do this. And, we are working on some new music now. It's going to release this summer. So we're very excited about that.
We're going to have a little package put together for the first time because we've only done singles so far. So very big for us. Next step, we're very excited. I know that there's going to be some visuals and everything else. And, cover art has been drawings so far that are beautiful. We've gotten artists to do them for us and we love them, but pretty sure our face is going to be on it.
Like, it's time for our face to go on this.
Yeah. So we're excited.
Yeah. So we're definitely excited for the next few months to finish this last song up and share it with everyone.
No, and that's awesome. Obviously you guys have a few songs out, and I'm just a huge fan of them. And obviously I'm a huge fan of you guys, and I just can't wait to hear more music. I can't wait for that album and just the other songs to come out and just to see what else comes for you guys. Like, I'm on the journey with you guys. I know once my fans see this stuff, and obviously once more of your fans see and stuff like that, like everyone will be on the journey with you guys. And I'm excited. And I appreciate you guys coming on and taking the time to do this interview.
Of course. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Means a lot.
No, of course. And this kind of gets into the fun part of the interview. And it's always my favorite part of the interview. Oh, there comes the guitar. Is hearing a live song by you guys. So I will put myself on mute just so there's no audio feedback, anything like that. And I will kind of let you guys take the floor if you want to just let us know a little bit about what song you guys are doing. And then the floor is yours.
Awesome. So this song is New Girl. We actually recorded a fun little fact about this one is we recorded this actually in Woodstock, which is super cool. And Kat had written all the parts on guitar. And when we were there, our producer was like, how cool would it be to have saxophone on it? And it just so happened that the intern at the studio was like this amazing saxophone player.
Yeah, like incredible saxophone player. We were like, oh, okay, awesome. And
so he actually played on the track, which unfortunately you're not going to hear today because we can't play saxophone. But if you listen to the track, you can hear the awesome saxophone. But so yeah, this is actually one of my favorite songs
this
that we
one
have out right now.
It's called New Girl. It is a it's
sassy,
powerful song about, like, this is your new girlfriend and good luck with that. But on the perspective of the girl side, more girl power than anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here we go. me so long, I finally moved on. The only thing I pray, don't hurt her the way you hurt me. Talk slow, those words you speak, you might promise her something you can't keep. Secrets, every little word. Please don't tell her my dreams. It took me so long, I finally moved on. The only thing I pray, don't hurt her the way you hurt me. Don't hurt her. Hey, 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 hey. Poison creep through my veins. Be careful when you hold her, you sting. It took me so long, I finally moved on. The only thing I pray, don't hurt her the way you hurt me. Don't hurt her. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Like, that is just awesome. I mean, I don't like singling people out per se. Like, I love all the artists that I've had on the show, and there's only maybe a handful of artists that like have performed on the show and that like give me chills at the end of the day listening to music like that. It just, the harmonies that you guys have are just so powerful, and so like it's really really special, and you guys are just killing it.
Thank you so much.
That means a lot.
That means a
Thank
lot
you.
to us.
No, of course. And like, I don't know what it is about, because I'm a big fan of The Voice and American Idol and stuff like that. And this past season on The Voice, there was a band on there, Girl Named Tom, and they're a family group, and their harmonies are just so cool and unique. And I think it's just because of the family ties that they have together compared to just like two random people coming together to perform a song. So it's really really special and unique, and I still have chills right now. So
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, of course. So that kind of concludes the episode for today. Before we go and I do my little outro thing here, is where can we find you on like social medias and stuff like that?
You can find us anywhere: Instagram, TikTok. We are on Facebook, Twitter, all under Kelly and Kat, and Kat is with a K.
Kat with a K. We have 4 singles out right now. You can check it out anywhere you listen to music: Spotify, Apple Music, all that fun stuff.
We have music videos out on YouTube. There will be more stuff this summer.
Yes, definitely stay tuned for the EP coming out this summer. We're really excited for everyone to hear it. And thank you so much for having us.
Yes,
we had so
really
much fun.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No, of course. Thank you guys. Obviously, y'all go check out Kelly and Kat. They are super, super talented. They have a lot of exciting stuff coming this summer, like they just said. And that is it for today. 5 interviews. I think I'm done with today for interviews, as far as I know. But obviously, y'all know the drill is every Sunday. We'll check out a new artist, and I will see y'all next week. And thanks for tuning in.